YouTuber. It's Wednesday. I got my pension today for December, but I have to wait for tomorrow, the 1st December, to pay my bills. I'm just to upload today's video. I'm just to put the memory card back to there. So, but let's finish reading this PDF document. Actually, I would like to read the Windows 10, but I was up 11 a.m. today because I was sleepy. Just eat some bread because I've not get anything to eat today, and I'm old man, so I need to eat some food every day. Just eat a big bread like this with ham and cheese. And now I'm thirsty because I've just eat some fruits. But I got a shower and a shaving, and I got my pension today. Some juice there. Yes. So actually I just been up only 5 hours today, but I have it's a little bit cold, so I take two. I have two of this on and a blanket. You can see I'm just ready to jump into my bed, but I did not finish my memory card back to my camcorder. So I just like to record a few minutes. Yes, I have to charger. Good. So I did download more PDF last night. Yes, we had to adjust my camcorder a bit. Just look at the video. We got to page 7. Got to page 7, and I like to read the Windows 10. Because these old computers, these old CPUs on like the LTA 775 socket, like the Pentium D and Pentium Dual Core, they can actually run this PCUs, Pentium D, Celeron D, Pentium Dual Core, Core 2 Quattro. They should all be able to run Windows 10. So I like to read about it. This is a list of Intel CPUs. We have to read that too. But now let's finish this. Let's do this. But I need a minute to go back to my bed and do myself ready. So alarm clock is on. I have to check my cell phone. I have to do anything now. Power is 95 on my cell phone. Yes, I have some Danish video uploaded, but now we are doing this. So only need a few pages. But this is very complicated technical English. I not understand most of this. I don't understand. Yes, I understand the word, but I don't understand all this technical stuff. But I like to read it anyway. I like to try to learn about it. Activate voice read to end of documents.
On processors with the no execute, NX, or execute disable, XD, feature, runs in P.
Yes, now I forgot to turn up the speakers and my arms are not 10 feet long. I have to get up my bed. Let's try again.
On processors with the no execute, NX, or execute disable, XD, feature, runs in PAE mode in order to allow NX.19. The NX bit resides in bit 63 of the page table entry and, without PAE, page table entries on 32-bit systems have only 32 bits. Therefore PAE mode is required in order to exploit the NX feature. However, client versions of 32-bit Windows, Windows XP SP2 and later, Windows Vista, Windows 7, limit physical address space to the first 4 GB for driver compatibility, 15, even though these versions do run in PAE mode if NX support is enabled. Windows 8 and later releases will only run on processors which support PAE, in addition to NX and SSE 2.20. 21. macOS. macOS X Tiger through macOS X Snow Leopard support PAE and the NX bit on IA32 processors. Snow Leopard was the last version to support IA32 processors. On x86-64 processors, all versions of macOS use 4-level paging, IA32E paging rather than PAE, to address memory above 4 GB. Mac Pro and Xserve systems can use up to 64 GB of RAM. 22. Linux. The Linux kernel includes full PAE mode support starting with version 2.3.23. 23, in 1999 enabling access of up to 64 GB of memory on 32-bit machines. A PAE-enabled Linux kernel requires that the CPU also support PAE. The Linux kernel supports PAE as a build option and major distributions provide a PAE kernel either as the default or as an option. The NX bit feature requires a kernel built with PAE support. 24. Linux distributions now commonly use a PAE-enabled kernel as the default, a trend that began in 2009. 25. As of 2012 many, including Ubuntu, and derivatives like Xubuntu and Linux Mint, 26. 27. Red Hat Enterprise Linux 6.0, 28, and CentOS, have stopped distributing non-PAE kernels, thus making PAE supporting hardware mandatory. Linux distributions that require PAE may refuse to boot on Pentium family processors because they do not show the PAE support flag in their CPUID information event how it is supported internally. 5. However, this can be easily bypassed, at least in Ubuntu, with ForcePE option. 29. Distributions that still provide a non-PAE option, including Debian, and derivatives like LMDE2, Linux Mint Debian Edition, 30, Slackware, and LXLE, typically do so with i386, i486, or retro labels. 31. 32. The article Lightweight Linux distribution does list some others, allowing to install Linux into old computers. Others. FreeBSD and NetBSD also support PAE as a kernel build option. FreeBSD supports PAE in the 4.x series starting with 4.9, in the 5.x series starting with 5.1, and in all 6.x and later releases. Support requires the kernel PAE configuration option. Loadable kernel modules can only be loaded into a kernel with PAE enabled if the modules were built with PAE enabled. The binary modules in FreeBSD distributions are not built with PAE enabled, and thus cannot be loaded into PAE kernels. Not all drivers support more than 4 GB of physical memory. Those drivers won't work correctly on a system with PAE.33. OpenBSD has had support for PAE since 2006 with the standard generic i386 kernel. GENUAMB supported the initial implementation .34. Since release 5.0, PAE has had a series of changes, in particular changes to i386 MMU processing for PMAP, CPMAP 9.35. Solaris supports PAE beginning with Solaris version 7. However, third-party drivers used with version 7 which do not specifically include PAE support may operate erratically or fail outright on a system with PAE.36. Haiku added initial support for PAE sometime after the R1 Alpha 2 release. With the release of R1 Alpha 3, PAE is now officially supported. Arca OS has limited support for PAE for the purpose of creating RAM disks above the 4 GB boundary. 37. See also. Page size extension. PCI hole. PSE 36. Architecture of Windows NT. 3 GB barrier. Large Physical Address Extension, LPAE, in the ARM architecture. Intel 5-level paging. References.
What now? Yes, we not record this, but I did download this a few days ago. Yesterday, so that's 29. That's from yesterday. It's the 13th. It's the 13th December, November today. So I will read the Windows 10, but we should maybe do the LTA. I like to read about it.